The story that we're talking about is the never-ending Elon Musk Twitter saga. The latest twist: Binance, Sequoia, a sovereign wealth fund, and a bunch of other rich people chipping in some money into Elon Musk's quest to buy the social media platform of choice for news junkies and crypto users alike. This one, pretty crazy. $500 million from CZ at Binance to make himself be involved in Elon Musk's takeover bid of Twitter.com. Pretty crazy. Also, given the context here that CZ and Binance have been spending big to get themselves into the media industry more broadly. When we saw a big investment from Binance in Forbes, the storied publication that covers the business world, and now they're putting in a significant chunk of change into online discourse in the Twitter public square. So this one caught a bunch of people by surprise this morning. Everyone was kind of like, what? That's weird. More billionaires teaming up to take Twitter private. What is going on? And Binance being on that list, along with Larry Ellison and some other notable folks, certainly caught the eyes of the crypto commentariat. So I'm going to toss this straight to David for his thoughts. David, interesting squad forming here. What's your initial take?
Yeah, one thing that's notable here is, at least the table that I looked at, Binance isn't just on there. They're pretty high up there. I think they were the 4th or 5th largest contributor to this project. And yeah, the sort of push for media. I think that there are two things that I would say. The first is that I'm quite curious about this from a I guess, investing financial perspective. I think there's a lot of consensus that Musk is poised to overpay for Twitter compared to what its actual results have been in recent years. I think there's a broad consensus that his plans for any changes to Twitter are at this point at least pretty half-baked, and it doesn't necessarily seem like he's entirely thought things through from a business perspective. He has personal and I think political interests that he's pursuing here. So it's interesting to see all this money coming in to support him. That, if you give somebody $500 million, it's not just because you like them personally. And so it does suggest some faith in his vision that I think there has been relatively little evidence of in hard money terms when it comes to this deal. The second thing I'll say is just, again, to maybe drill down a little bit more on the weird conflicts of interests here. Because obviously Binance wants to create an environment where promotion of crypto assets is easier, I guess, broadly you could say, and where there's more opportunities for positive coverage. That seems to have been some element of their strategy behind Forbes. The curious thing here is that Twitter is already a great place for promoting bad crypto projects as well as good ones. So I'm not sure whether they have a real strategic axe to grind here. Maybe they just want to put a little bit of money behind the general idea of keeping things open at Twitter. I mean, notoriously, and people can pick up from here, but bots trying to shill crypto scams have been a presence on Twitter for most of its existence at this point, I think. And they don't seem to have figured out any way to convincingly deal with it. So, I don't think that's going to be high on Elon's list from what he's saying. And so maybe they're just willing to put down $500 million to back the status quo. I'm not sure. But Will, you're nodding along. What are your thoughts on Twitter?
Yeah, my first thought was trader liquidations actually went to a good place for the first time. So that's a pretty cool thing to see. I think like Binance getting involved with this deal tells you about what Binance is trying to do going forward. They've been doing this regulatory hop for quite a while. Looks like they're going to set up some shop in Paris because Paris has been, or France in general, has been more open to crypto being like the place for Binance to land. And I think going forward, you're going to see like more investments for Binance, right? They need to do it because they've been chased around the globe jurisdictionally, right? They've had some issues. They need to capture things like Forbes. They need to capture things like Twitter. So it's a good investment for them. I think this is also like a counterpunch to what people expected with what happened with Jack Dorsey and Musk over the last few weeks. I think a lot of people were like, hey, maybe Jack Dorsey's going to be CEO again. He seems to have like some sort of deal with Elon here. Binance getting involved with this really tempers that expectation a ton. I think that first thought that people had on Twitter about Jack Dorsey maybe getting involved again was like completely wrong to begin with. But seeing Binance get involved on the cap table here, and Sequoia actually as well, since they have a larger crypto wing, tells you that, hey, no, there's going to be a lot more players involved. And Elon Musk obviously with the Doge play and the Bitcoin play, he's not as strict a maximalist as Jack Dorsey. Zach, I'll give it up to you.
Yeah, I think the Dorsey angle is interesting because A16Z was also involved, and they've had some very public spats. I think it was Dorsey and some of the members of the A16Z investor group. I think it was Chris Dixon, maybe Mark Andreessen. They had some I don't know, low key Twitter beef going. So the fact that A16Z is sort of poking at that and getting back at Jack, I guess, and also investing and maybe also bringing their crypto savvy to this project going forward is something that's pretty funny also to watch. But Max Entertainment on this story continues to unfold. Christy, tossing it to you.
Real quick, the one thing, and that's to follow up on what you said about the, sort of the crypto angle, is that last month, CZ tweeted that Musk should privatize it, issue a token, decentralize it. And I guess he's just sort of throwing some money maybe at that angle, hoping that we are, with Elon Musk being more involved in Twitter, that it's going to actually have somebody at the helm who might look seriously at doing that, and creating some form of integration that's going to create, and who knows, maybe use crypto to get rid of the bots and do things. I don't know. Like the whole email.
I mean, that's one thing
they
could be using crypto for.
That is one thing they could use it for. So, yeah.